All right, today we're diving into a new blockchain that's making a really bold claim to make crypto simple enough for pretty much everyone. We're talking about Whitechain, and we're going to see if it can actually live up to all that hype.
We've all heard about the potential of crypto, right? But let's be real for a second. For most people, it's still kind of complicated, transactions can be slow, and there's always that little bit of risk. This is exactly the problem Whitechain is trying to solve, aiming to cut through all the noise and just deliver on what blockchain was supposed to be from the start. And this mission statement, this isn't just some fancy marketing slogan. It's a super clear vision for mass adoption. You know, they're setting the bar really high for themselves, and that's the standard we're going to hold them to as we go through this.
So, to really get what Whitechain is all about, we've got to start with their core mission. What's the fundamental goal here? And maybe more importantly, how does it make them different from the thousands of other projects out there?
The whole idea is to build a super reliable bridge between the crypto world and the financial systems we already use every day. I mean, just imagine being able to move your money seamlessly from your bank account to your crypto wallet, all with the kind of trust and security you'd expect from a big bank. That's the future Whitechain is trying to build.
Now, a mission that big needs some serious horsepower under the hood, right? So let's pop open that hood and take a look at the tech to see how Whitechain is actually built to deliver on these promises of being fast, secure, and even sustainable.
If you've spent any time at all in the crypto space, you've definitely heard of the blockchain trilemma. It's this classic puzzle of trying to have everything at once. You want it to be fast, you want it to be secure, and you want it to be decentralized. It's like trying to build a race car that's also an armored tank. So, how does Whitechain try to solve this? Well, their answer is something called Proof of Authority, or POA for short. Now, instead of having thousands of anonymous miners all competing to solve these crazy complex puzzles, think of it more like a board of directors. You have a small, known, and trusted group of validators who are responsible for keeping the whole network running smoothly. This just creates a level of accountability and efficiency that's really hard to get with other systems.
And when you put it side by side with something like Proof of Work, which powers huge networks like Bitcoin, the difference is just night and day. POA is way, way faster and so much more energy efficient. We're not talking about a small improvement here. This system uses a tiny fraction of the energy. And that choice directly leads to a faster, cheaper, and frankly, a much greener experience for everyone using it.
Okay, so we have this fast, secure, and green blockchain. But what's the fuel that makes the engine run? Every blockchain needs its own native currency, and for Whitechain, that's the WBT coin. It's what powers every single transaction, every feature, and every reward in this whole ecosystem.
You got to remember this number, 400 million. That is the absolute maximum supply of WBT coins that will ever exist. It's a hard cap. That means no new coins are ever going to be created, which is a really big deal for the token's economics because it builds in scarcity right from the very beginning.
And here's where it gets even more interesting for holders. Whitebit, the exchange behind all of this, has committed to buying back and burning WBT every single week. And their goal? To destroy at least half of the total supply. This is a really powerful deflationary mechanism, which is just a fancy way of saying that over time, the total number of WBT coins out there is designed to go down, which can help support the value for long-term holders.
So you're probably asking, okay, but what's in it for me? Well, for users on the Whitebit exchange, just holding WBT unlocks some real tangible perks. We're talking cheaper trading fees, free withdrawals for popular tokens like ETH, free security checks, and even better rewards when you get your friends to join. It's a pretty clear and direct answer to that why should I care question.
All right, now we get to what might be the most fascinating, most forward-thinking part of the entire Whitechain ecosystem. It's an idea that could completely change how we manage our identity online, the WB Soul. I mean, imagine a world where you could prove you're over 21 without showing your entire driver's license. That's the kind of future WB Soul is trying to build.
Think of it like a digital passport that lives securely on the blockchain. Now, to get one, you do have to go through a standard KYC, or Know Your Customer, verification process. But here's the magic trick. Once it's created, your WB Soul can prove you're a real, verified human being without ever revealing your name, your address, or any other private info on the blockchain. Whitebit basically acts as the guarantor for that identity, adding this critical layer of trust. So your WB Soul is defined by two different types of features. First, you have soul attributes. Think of these like the stats on your character in a video game. They can change over time, like how much WBT you're holding. Then, on the other hand, you have soul-bound tokens, or SBTs. These are more like the achievements or trophies you unlock in that game. They are permanent proof of what you've accomplished, and they can never be transferred or taken away from you.
Okay, so you've got this cool new digital identity.
But how do you actually use it to your advantage? Let's talk about SolDrop. This is the mechanism that's designed to reward you for just participating and being committed to the ecosystem long term.
You know, the concept here is actually very simple. SolDrop rewards WBT holders based on two rules. The more WBT you hold and the longer you hold it, the more rewards you can potentially get. It's a system built to reward long-term belief in the project, not just short-term trading.
And claiming these rewards isn't some super technical, confusing process. It's actually a direct interaction with the smart contract, and it's a pretty straightforward 6-step thing you can do right from the Whitechain Block Explorer. It puts you in total control of your own rewards. So what kind of rewards are we actually talking about? Well, by continuously holding WBT and hitting the highest holding levels, users could achieve an approximate annual reward of up to 22%. Yeah, you heard that right. That's a really compelling reason to stick with the ecosystem for the long haul.
Okay, we've looked at the mission, the tech, the coin, and this whole digital identity thing. So now, let's zoom out a bit and see how all these pieces are supposed to fit together to create the big picture for Whitechain's future.
At the end of the day, this is the main takeaway. Everything we've just talked about, the speed of POA, the utility of the WBT coin, and the verifiable identity of the WB Soul, they're all just tools designed to build one thing: a trusted bridge. A bridge that makes it easy for regular people and even big institutions to step into the world of digital assets with confidence.
And this final quote really captures the whole spirit of the project. It suggests this isn't just about building technology for its own sake. It's about empowering people and unlocking a future where blockchain is a seamless and truly helpful part of all our lives.
So, I'll just leave you with this to chew on. For years, our wallets have just been about numbers and transactions. But what happens when we link our finances to a verifiable private identity, to a soul? It just opens up a whole new universe of possibilities. What does that future look like? That's the question Whitechain is inviting all of us to explore.